Hey everybody, this is Melissa LaMunyon, and I am so glad to be back. As you may have noticed, there are fewer massage videos going up on the main channel. We are still producing them for Psychetruth Plus, Amazon, and our Patreon. But YouTube has let us know that massage videos are no longer preferred content. Basically, this means that we can't afford to make them for the main channel. Don't worry though, we love to make these videos and we know you guys love to watch them. So please check us out. We have exclusive content for our Patreon. You can watch our massage videos for free with your Amazon Prime subscription. And we have even more massage videos on our Psychetruth Plus page. I look forward to seeing you guys again soon, and please enjoy the video. Today, I will be giving a relaxing back massage. You are welcome to follow along with a partner or sit back, get comfortable, and enjoy. I'll also be discussing some tricks and tips for getting out of a bad mood. All right, so let's begin. I invite you to take a deep breath, inhaling and exhaling. So what do you do if you're in a bad mood? Worse than a bad mood. I know that sometimes it can feel like there is nothing that can change how we're feeling. I'm very familiar with a sense of permanence, solidity, density. Sometimes when I have really big emotions, they just seem really big and really heavy and overwhelming. So our brains are made up of lots of different parts. And while I'm not a neuroscientist, my understanding is that our emotions a lot of the times reside in some of the deeper, older parts of our brains, like our limbic system and something called our amygdala. I think those might be connected. But anyways, there is some new neuroscience out there that shows how when we are experiencing negative emotions, that the part of our brain that lights up, that's activated, is called the amygdala. So you're having these big feelings, they're in part of your brain. What do you do? The sense of solidity and density and immovability that we can have around our emotions isn't necessarily true. Like, it's true that you're feeling what you're feeling, But the story that you're trapped or stuck or that it's never going to change is a lie. So what happens is we have big feelings, and then oftentimes a thought will arise and get attached to that feeling. That thought may be partly true, it may not be. So anyways, these scientists have found that when you're experiencing these bigger emotions, like you're really in it, like you're feeling it, you're activated, that if a person can instead use a word or two to describe the negative emotions, this can bring relief. And the reason why, it sounds so simple, right? We're feeling the big emotions, anger, fear, sadness. And our amygdala is all activated. The act of using language, the act of finding a word or two to describe what you're feeling. This takes the activity out of the amygdala and activates our prefrontal cortex, which is a newer portion of our brain. This is where our logic and thinking and rationality, such as it is, resides. By that movement of energy from the amygdala being activated to the amygdala reducing its activation while the prefrontal cortex increases its activation, what have we done? We have just reduced the negative feelings impact. We've just made ourselves feel a little bit better. According to an article I was reading about this technique, naming emotions is such a powerful way of communicating. Like it can actually change not just ourselves, but the people we're interacting with. It is one of the communication techniques used by FBI hostage negotiators. In this article, I also read about how we can interrupt downward negative emotional spirals, or what many of us would call day-to-day life, before the feelings become too big. We can interrupt that spiral by searching for things that we're grateful for. If that doesn't work, though, right away in the moment, Then now you have another technique to use to throw off the shackles that negative emotions seem to throw on us. We can lessen their impact and their hold on us simply by naming them. This isn't something to allow any perfectionism to get in the way. What is just instinctual, first off the top of your mind? What is the first word that comes to mind to describe what you're feeling? And similarly to that practice of gratitude, I'm using the search for gratitude to shift us out of a bad mood. And so it is the practice here of searching for a word, going from the feeling parts of our mind into the parts of our mind that deal with symbols and symbology. So it doesn't even matter if it's the right word, just that you're searching for one, that you try one. So maybe these experiments don't work right now. Maybe they don't work perfectly. But any little bit of space that you've created, any little bit of lessening of impact is progress, is something to be celebrated, even if you're feeling frustrated that it wasn't enough. This might help if you remember that there are, at their core, only 4 emotions. There's anger, fear, sadness, and gladness. It's kind of similar to colors. There's your set of primary colors from which we get all the various shades and nuanced colors that we have today. For example, you're trying to practice this and you keep noticing a sense of, well, this isn't good enough, or I'm not doing it right, so what's the point? Perfectionism is often rooted in fear. And so that might be a clue to what you're actually feeling. Similarly, anger can often be a cover for fear or sadness. Another trick could be to just make something up. So you notice you're having negative emotions and you want to try to shift your state of mind by this practice of naming. One way to perhaps bypass that sense of perfectionism that can keep you frozen is to just make something up. Or to take quick action. You could just ask yourself, well, what if I just made up what I might be feeling? You say the first thing that comes to mind. So much of what we need to do is just to get out of our own way. Or to create acceptance for all the parts of ourselves, including the ones that are always in the way. Through my research, I've learned that emotions like shame and guilt and pride, which sound like the root of a lot of the self-judgment that I experience. Research is showing that these emotions activate the reward center in the brain. And to me, this is just another example of how there's always a reason for why our brains and our bodies do the things that they do. It's easy to feel frustrated with our bodies when we're in physical pain. But even through the pain, or rather the pain is simply a byproduct of our bodies trying to support ourselves, trying to do its job. I know that a lot of us can get really frustrated with our own internal workings. Why do I do this? Why does my mind behave this way? And so as we learned with the feelings of guilt and shame, there's a reason. The reward center in the brain is activated. So maybe if I could just suggest asking yourself the question, what if? What if my inner judgments are wrong? What if I am working well? What if my mind has a reason that I may not understand for why it's doing what it's doing? And I hope that that allows you to find some relief. I am so honored that you joined us today. I appreciate your presence. I hope that you are feeling more relaxed and resourced. And I look forward to spending time with you again soon.